Today on Good Morning Maine, a serious crash in Corinth took the life of one after a farm truck ran off the road. Plus, COVID and other respiratory diseases are on the rise in Maine. We'll hear from the experts at the CDC on how you can keep you and your family safe. And good news for local fire departments. A new batch of firefighters straight from the academy are moving into jobs all around the state. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith and thank you very much for tuning in on this Monday morning. My colleague Craig Colson is taking a vacation day, but this morning looks a little dreary, possibly some showers this morning. So let's start off with a check of that forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Alrighty, here we go. This morning, some areas of dense fog greeting us near parts of Bar Harbor and parts of Washington County, and even areas further off towards the north as well. As we get things going today, we will also have to watch out for some showers and thunderstorms as the fog clears up. We're already seeing some showers and storms this morning. It's even caused some flooding issues right about in here. There's been some flood alerts issued at times this morning here. Those are expiring this morning as well, but we will be watching on and off for scattered showers and thunderstorms across our neck of the woods today. There's a little bit of energy. Here it is right about in here. Continues to track off towards the north and east, and it's very localized just across the state of Maine, and that's about it. So futurecast showing more scattered showers and storms this morning and again this afternoon. We'll get those out of here. Later on tonight, we'll be under a partly cloudy sky with areas of dense fog on the way overnight. As for the winds for today, not too bad, roughly at around 5 miles per hour or so, maybe a few areas up to 10 miles per hour. The winds calm down tonight, and that will allow that fog to develop, and we're looking pretty good as we start things off Tuesday morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms today, highs in the mid-70s, and that southeast wind at around 5 miles per hour. Alrighty, your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, showing some showers and thunderstorms possible with temperatures in the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Devin. We'll get another look at that forecast a little later on. Well, first this morning, one person is dead following a crash involving a farm truck in Corinth on Saturday. According to the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office, a report of a serious motor vehicle crash on the Beans Mill Road in Corinth came in just before 4:30 p.m. Authorities say the crash took place near the intersection of Beans Mill and Exeter Road. When deputies and fire officials arrived, they reportedly found a large farm truck off of the road in the woods. Authorities say the lone male occupant was trapped between the passenger side of the truck and a tree. Advanced life support services, including Life Flight, arrived, but the man did not survive. The crash is under investigation. 2 people have been seriously injured after being thrown from a vehicle during a crash on Friday night. According to the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office, the PRCC received a report of a serious motor vehicle crash at approximately 11:10 p.m. Deputies and the Eddington Fire Department responded to Route 180, the Rebel Hill Road. Authorities say a lone SUV had lost control, skidded off the roadway, and rolled over several times. Both occupants were thrown from the vehicle in opposite directions and sustained serious injuries. Authorities say witnesses reported seeing the vehicle traveling at dangerous speeds on Route 9 prior to the crash. The crash remains under investigation. The search for a missing Holton man who was lost in a plane crash in 1972 is still ongoing, thanks to efforts by his younger brother and hundreds of community members. A ceremony was held in his honor on Saturday. Our Callie Warren has the story.
It's just a heartbroken thing.
Billy Hogan has been missing for over 50 years. In 1972, he embarked on a flight from Connecticut to Holton, Maine, his hometown, but he never returned. His brother says his last Mayday was in the Portland area. His younger brother Jerome hasn't given up on his search to bring his brother home.
We're going to find the boy.
On Saturday, a military ceremony was held at the Maine Air Museum to honor the missing pilot who served in the Holton Army Guard.
I went up in the plane with him a lot of times. Him and I were close. We were real close. Something like this here today, this was the hardest for me today to accept that flag.
You don't want to go on forever with nobody knowing what happened to my brother. I wouldn't stop if it was me. No, you keep right on going.
Multiple leads have been found over the years, and while many of them were confirmed not to be remains of Billy or the 1972 Citabria aircraft he flew, Bryden says there are a couple of recent leads, including unidentified bodies found in the ocean, 2 of them matching Billy's height.
We have a long way to go, but one step at a time, we're going to find Billy.
To learn how you can help with the search, visit our website at foxbangor.com.
When we find him, I want to put him with his mother and father.
In Bangor, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A Waterville man serving time for murder at the Maine State Prison died on Friday. According to the Department of Corrections Commissioner Randall Liberty, 50-year-old Stephen Lee died just before 11:30 a.m. His death was attended by medical personnel. In 1997, Lee began serving a 40-year sentence for murder as well as concurrent sentences for robbery and burglary. His earliest possible release date was June of 2032. Police are searching for a male suspect in connection with a reported robbery at a gas station in Portland. According to the Portland Police Department, police were called to the Riverton gas station on Forest Avenue just after 2 p.m. Police say an unknown male entered the gas station with a white mask and a baseball bat and demanded money from the clerk. Police say he left with an unknown amount of cash heading towards the Riverton school. A canine attempted to track the suspect but was unsuccessful. Police say the subject is said to be 5'7" with yellow teeth and a brown goatee. Investigators are asking anyone with information to call 207-874-8575. A Maine covered bridge is closed after a truck loaded with gravel tore right through the floorboards. That truck ended up in the Presumscot River. It happened Friday on Babbs Bridge along Hurricane Road at the Gorham-Wyndham town line. Originally built in 1840, the bridge was replaced in the 1970s when it burned down. The bridge has a 3-ton limit. The Maine Department of Transportation says the dump truck was loaded with crushed gravel. This would have made the weight of the vehicle several times the posted weight limit. They expect Babbs Bridge to remain closed to traffic for at least several months.
The bridge is almost 50 years old and unique as this one is, and you have a vehicle that appears to have been terribly overloaded, something like this happens.
The driver was not seriously injured. Maine DOT says Babbs Bridge is inspected at least every 2 years, and the last inspection took place at the end of last month. As summer slowly turns towards fall and winter, the U.S. Center for Disease Control Response and Prevention is warning that COVID and other respiratory diseases are on the rise. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard spoke with experts at the CDC and Department of Health and Human Services to learn more about how to stay safe.
CDC, our colleagues at HHS, public health agencies, clinicians, pharmacists, and many others have been hard at work preparing for this upcoming season to protect the health of Americans.
According to Mandy Cohen, the director of the U.S. CDC, COVID numbers have started to rise. She says scientists predict that while we won't see pandemic-level cases, we will see a spike during the fall and winter when people spend more time indoors. Cohen adds one of the best ways to protect yourself from getting COVID is to get an updated vaccine.
So while the COVID virus continues to mutate and change faster than the flu virus, our underlying immunity from prior vaccines and prior infections provides some protection.
Like the flu shot, which Cohen says you should also get, the new COVID shots are also customized for the current dominant strains and were just approved by the FDA on Thursday.
The good news is so far that the updated vaccine closely matches the KP3 family of viruses that continues to grow in dominance.
Aside from vaccines, the other important step to stay safe this fall and winter includes testing, which is why the federal government is restarting their free COVID test program.
So as all of you prepare for travel and gatherings with family and friends throughout the 2024 holiday season, don't forget to go to covidtest.gov to order your free tests. And even more importantly, don't forget to use these free tests when you are concerned that you or your loved one may have COVID.
In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Those free tests definitely come in handy. Well, with Labor Day weekend around the corner and kids heading back to school, police are cracking down on impaired drivers. The Maine Bureau of Highway Safety and police are telling drivers to drive sober or get pulled over. It's a part of a nationwide campaign to help combat impaired driving. To support the effort, the Bureau has awarded federal funding to law enforcement agencies across the state. According to the Maine BHS, 60 people lost their lives in Maine last year due to crashes related to impaired driving. And they've been tracking data that shows 24 people have died this year due to impaired driving.
In 2022, about 30% of our fatalities in Maine were caused by a drunken driver. So that put us in the top 8 of the nation. Okay, I want to see us like being the last one in the nation when it comes to these stats, right?
The campaign will run through Labor Day in an effort to reduce crash risks and raise awareness. Holden police say they take part in this campaign 3 times per year, but they're always on the lookout for anyone driving under the influence. As the state continues to grapple with a shortage of affordable housing, a local developer is looking to construct a 500-unit apartment complex on Stillwater Avenue in Bangor. Developer Justin Freeman says the multi-unit apartment complex will be constructed on the 42 acres of land on Stillwater Avenue between Chase Road and Longview Drive. Freeman says each apartment will be around 500 to 1,000 square feet and will include appliances and a laundromat on site. They're currently in the planning approval stage and are working on getting all the necessary permits. Freeman says he's hoping to keep rent at a reasonable level.
The construction costs are relatively high, especially the last few years. So all of a sudden the landlord or developer has to charge $2,200, $2,400 a month to get into those units. And there's a market below that. There's a market significantly below that does seem underserved. So that's where we were aiming.
According to Freeman, they're aiming to construct a high percentage of 1-bedroom apartments, but the need for 2-bedroom apartments grows. He says, but as the need for 2-bedroom apartments grows, he says they can easily readjust to accommodate the demand. Freeman says he hopes to be pouring concrete in May of next year. So this is going to be a multi-year process, as constructing new buildings usually is. The time now is 6:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a Mid-Coast elementary school will see delays to starting the school year after asbestos was found in the attic. We'll see how the cleanup is going. But before we go, let's take another quick look at that forecast. Definitely a cloudy one to start our Monday. Highs of around 76 degrees. We'll likely see some scattered thunderstorms throughout our viewing area today. Partly cloudy tonight. Some areas of fog that could slow you down on your morning commute tomorrow. Lows of around 58 degrees overnight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, nicer than today. Highs of around 82. We'll be right back.
This morning, what's better than starting your week off with GMA? Well, how about waking up with GMA, Selena, Steve, and Martin?
Great idea.
This morning, only on
Good Morning America.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Harris Lumber is locally owned and has been serving the Pequot region for more than 50 years. See them for all your projects, big or small. Customer service is their #1 priority. And with a full line of lumber and hardware items, they can also deliver to your job site. Harris Lumber, Milo.
Put a little more cash in your bank. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
On Feud,
name a way a woman might say she likes her men and her cheese.
You either nail it,
sharp,
spicy, or fail it.
Full of adventure,
running round the dairy section.
Family Feud.
Where are you going? Stop all this adventure.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC7.
Welcome Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith. Well, the discovery of asbestos in a 70-year-old Midcoast elementary school will delay the start of school. Brad Rogers looks at what's being done to remove the asbestos and insulation in the attic and why the superintendent believes there are no health concerns.
Vermiculite, a common insulation back in the 50s, was put in the rafters back when Bowdenham Community School was built. It contains some asbestos. A contractor hired to lay new wires discovered this material had fallen onto the newer fiberglass insulation in the drop-down ceiling of some classrooms.
We've done an air quality test, and those came back all good to show that there were no signs of asbestos in the air in all areas of the building.
Superintendent Heidi O'Leary says the detected levels of asbestos is only 1/4 of 1%. Even so, the district wanted to make sure all the asbestos and old insulation was removed.
We'd rather err on the side of caution and make sure that we fix it now, and rather than bringing our students and staff in and having something happen.
Today, a local abatement crew started removing the material.
We have masks and respirators on. It's pretty much just a big gas-powered vacuum, and it sucks it up, puts it in these special bags, which goes in the dumpster.
This crew will also be removing and replacing the fiberglass insulation with new insulation above the classrooms. The work will delay the start of school by at least one day. Yeah, you're hoping it doesn't go past that.
I hope not. I mean, it may, but we will see once we get into it a little bit better.
Superintendent O'Leary is grateful this didn't happen after the start of school.
There's really no good time to have such a big project, but I'm happy that it happened before school started and the students were in there so that we could get a jump on it.
With the old insulation containing only a small amount of asbestos, and with air quality tests coming back good, the superintendent says there are no health concerns from previous asbestos exposure.
The Penobscot County Fire Academy's 2024 session wrapped up on Thursday, and some of the graduates are currently applying their newly learned skills to Bangor's front lines. We talked to first responders who have been with the fire department for over a year, getting on-the-job experience. They now have a professional national fire certification, which they say provides them with invaluable skills for handling fire and rescue needs anytime and anywhere.
The Penobscot County Fire Academy is for a national level certification. The department itself puts on a very, very rigorous entry program, and the Penobscot Fire Academy just adds to that, to this wealth of knowledge through our experience and through our crews that we work with.
For more details on the Academy and the graduates, visit our website at foxbangor.com. Families got to learn more about Maine's native plants and insects on Saturday, especially butterflies, at the Fields Pond Audubon Center's annual Butterfly Festival. The festival offered everything from a butterfly-themed parade to a native plant sale, and even an opportunity to catch insects and have them identified by the Maine Audubon staff. Organizers say the festival is a way for kids to better connect with nature, wildlife, and insects.
You know, we hope that people leave with a sense of that they're connected, that they have a role to play in helping to improve our environment.
The Fields Pond Audubon Center hosts events year-round. Visit our website, foxbangor.com, for more information. And it is so true, they're constantly hosting events that are good for families, adults and kids alike, so definitely worth checking out. Well, the time now is 6:18. After the break, three brothers in Dover Foxcroft are running a lemonade stand for charity, of which has already raised thousands of dollars for cancer research. We'll hear all about it as Good Morning Maine continues.
Whether you have a $15,000 fender bender or a surgery case worth $1 million, call the Twos.
Fortunately, my accident wasn't that bad, but I called the Twos and Lowry & Associates still got me $20,000.
My husband was in a very serious accident and needed back surgery. We called the Twos and Lowry & Associates got him $450,000.
Big cases and small, we handle them all. Call us. We win for you.
Call 222-2222.
You can really make a career out of it if you find that passion and you enjoy what you're doing.
I just got done with my associate's degree. I am determined to go back and finish my bachelor's.
I didn't know that it was for me until I got into it. It just made me feel so good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Recovery
coaching led me on the path to where I am now, doing the work that I do with the nonprofit, and I don't know where I'd be without it.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on.
There you go.
Whoa. Where's my mom? Just be in the moment.
You could get low 4.99 for 60 on an all-wheel drive RAV4 hybrid or gas model, which could save you up to $1,400. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance. Toyota, let's go places.
For those driving through Dover-Foxcroft on your way to the Piscataquis County Fair, you might have spotted the Maine Adventure Boys selling lemonade. The Maine Adventure Boys are 3 brothers who produce videos on YouTube. The money raised from their lemonade stand goes towards 2 local causes, both of which help those battling cancer. The Christine B. Foundation supports those fighting cancer by giving access to healthy foods and nutritional information. And Sarah's House of Maine provides temporary lodging to cancer patients and their loved ones while receiving treatment. The latter was founded by the boys' late aunt, Sarah Robinson.
Me and my brother Parker kind of stayed up all night one day thinking about how could we make the most amount of money, and I was like, you know, we don't need it. We could donate it.
The boys say they've raised over $2,000 since they first started the lemonade stand, and they plan on raising even more. All right, the time now is 6:21. Time to get a full look at that forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your full weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Alrighty, here we go. Areas of dense fog greeting us near parts of Bar Harbor, up across the northern parts of the state as well, and even across parts of Washington County. We'll get the fog out of here, but we will also still have to watch for showers and some thunderstorms possible. Right about in here, we've had some development this morning that's allowed some flood alerts to be issued at times as well. Right about in here, as some of these showers and storms are not moving very quickly. We'll be watching for scattered showers and storms on and off across the region today. Moving forward as we watch this little wave of energy. It's very little. Here it is right about in here. That continues to track off slowly to the north and east. The rest of the northeast looking pretty good. We just have to get this thing out of here, and then we're looking pretty good. So here's futurecast for today. Scattered showers and some thunderstorms possible. More of it across the western parts of the state as we head towards the afternoon period, but can't totally rule stuff out farther out towards the east. Also, notice the clouds break up for a bit, so we'll call it a partly cloudy sky this afternoon. Also, we'll calm down tonight. Partly cloudy areas of dense fog possible, and it may be widespread as we head towards Tuesday morning, so be careful with that. We'll get that out of here. Tuesday looking like a very nice day. Tuesday night, we're good for a bit until late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Maybe some fog again, but notice some showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder on the way by early Wednesday morning. As for the rainfall for today, very localized. Some spots could see a lot of rainfall, but otherwise some spots could see a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit more or less before we're all finished up for today. And then we'll have to wait until Wednesday before more rain moves in. So overall this week, maybe up to 3/4 of an inch of rain between today and also Wednesday before we're all finished up, but very local with lower amounts possible in a few other spots. As for our temperatures, our average night temperature is 78 degrees. We'll do middle 70s today, then lower 80s for you Tuesday. We're back in the lower to middle 70s Wednesday, all the way through at least Sunday. So overall, not looking too bad in the temperature department moving forward. Scattered showers and thunderstorms on the way today with highs in the mid 70s and a southeast wind at around 5 miles per hour. Coming up for tonight, partly cloudy areas of dense fog. It could be thick at times with lows in the upper 50s and the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with highs in the low 80s and a southwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Alrighty, let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Rain moves in Wednesday again with highs in the low 70s. Partly cloudy Thursday with highs in the mid 70s and middle 70s again for your Friday under a mostly sunny sky.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you.
Current qualified Chevy lessees can get this Silverado for around $359 a month. Visit your main Chevy dealers.
New car, new house, new motorcycle. Come on down, Howard Insurance.
Howard Insurance Agency has the privilege of 150 years in the business and represents several companies for your insurance. With local offices in Dover, Foxcroft, Dexter, and Newport, we are happy to help with your home, auto, commercial insurance, and more. Call us today for a free quote and see how much we can save you, or go to our website. When Rowell's Garage in Dover Foxcroft wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Rowell's Garage has been serving customers in the greater Dover Foxcroft region since 1946. Our goal is not just selling you a vehicle, but also giving you quality service to maintain your vehicle at peak performance.
Transform your home with Ashley Furniture's factory authorized sale at the Furniture Gallery. A queen mattress and frame, a 6-piece dining set, a sofa chaise, a reclining sofa, a set of 2 recliners, or a complete bedroom set for just $595. 6 amazing options for under $600. The Furniture Gallery's factory authorized sale ends soon, so don't miss out on these incredible deals. Hurry into the Furniture Gallery. Shop online and visit our Facebook page for more savings. The Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in. I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in too.
I am in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Israel launched a wave of retaliatory airstrikes against Lebanon's militant group Hezbollah in what the IDF is calling a presumptive strike. Hezbollah retaliated to avenge the killing of one of its top leaders last month, leading to the heaviest exchange of fire in months. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has more from Tel Aviv.
Early Sunday, Israel and the militant group Hezbollah exchanged heavy fire. The IDF called the strike preemptive, claiming it destroyed thousands of rocket launchers in Lebanon. Hezbollah says it carried out a barrage of rocket and drone attacks in retaliation for the killing of a top military commander last month.
We are attacking and removing threats from Hezbollah. The IDF is doing and will continue to do everything necessary to protect the citizens of the state of Israel.
Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah says the group is going to assess whether further attacks are needed to be carried out after the group initially said that the attack was complete, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the country could take all measures to protect itself to return civilians to the evacuated towns in the north, and that this is not the end of the matter. Both sides claim they only aimed at military targets.
Whoever hurts us, we hurt him.
The cross-border clash was one of the most intense exchanges in months and comes as high-level ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas continue in Egypt.
I am not very optimistic about it, and I don't think that Hamas has the correct how should we say, incentive in order to finally say, yes, we agree.
The fighting instead renewing fears of a wider war spreading across the already tense region.
I think the Iranians are contemplating an attack on Israel, but decided for now to put it on hold.
The White House says that it's monitoring the situation. The Pentagon says since the attack, it's ordered 2 aircraft carrier strike groups to remain in the Middle East. In Tel Aviv, Israel, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
And the Biden administration responding to those strikes between Israel and Hezbollah early Sunday morning. Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson has more from the White House.
A second aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, has just arrived in the Middle East, taking station in the Gulf of Oman, not far from the Theodore Roosevelt strike group, who's been at sea for the past 7 months. Earlier, Israel's new ambassador to the United Nations said this will help deter Iran.
It sent a very clear message to the Iranian, stay out of it, stay out of this war. I hope they will listen to those threats. But we need the support.
Biden's top military advisor, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General C.Q. Brown, is in Israel Sunday to share intelligence and help coordinate efforts. He was in Jordan Saturday, as you can see here, meeting with his Jordanian counterpart. U.S. Navy now has 2 carrier strike groups in the region. Both came from the Pacific, leaving none there right now. The Navy has also positioned 4 guided missile destroyers in the eastern Mediterranean to protect the skies over Israel from incoming ballistic missiles from Iran or potentially Yemen. Guided missile submarine Georgia, armed with over 150 Tomahawk cruise missiles, also remains in the Med. Here's New Jersey Democratic Senator Cory Booker earlier.
We know the most urgent issue right now is ending this awful conflict in the Middle East, bringing about a ceasefire and stopping this from expanding to a wider arena.
When it comes to those ceasefire negotiations, Senator Lindsey Graham had the following suggestion.
If I were the state of Israel, I would tell the Ayatollah, if these people do not come home alive, the ones that are left alive, and if we don't get the bodies of the fallen, we're going to blow up your oil refineries. That's the only way you're ever going to get the hostages released, is to put pressure on Iran.
While leaving the West Coast, President Biden ignored reporters' questions about this latest scrap between Hezbollah and Israel. The president begins another vacation on the East Coast at his Delaware beach house. And later, his national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, departs for Canada. At the White House, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
RFK Jr. speaks out on Fox News on Sunday after his decision to suspend his campaign and endorse Donald Trump on Friday. The decision reportedly was slammed by his family members as a betrayal, but he says he wasn't driven by animosity. Kennedy and Trump agreed to form a unity government that appears to be the extent of their relationship at this point. Kennedy says there are no guarantees that he'll be offered a position in the Trump administration, even though Trump said he'd be open to the possibility. Fox News polls last month show Kennedy pulling support from Trump in key battleground states like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. So Trump is hoping he can draw some of those backers to his camp. Coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll have our weekly segment, Market Watch, where we check out some cool and unusual Facebook Marketplace finds. We'll be right back.
Every year, older Mainers are taken advantage of, pressured into doing things that are not in their best interest. Watch for these red flags and talk to a lawyer before you act. Don't be pressured to sign a power of attorney, deed, or loan document. To sign away your home, even with promises you can live there the rest of your life. To give someone your credit card or access to your money. Call Legal Services for Maine Elders for free, confidential legal advice.
As adults, we have so many competing interests that really are trying to get our time and energy.
You know, when you're already kind of really grinding with work, when you're really grinding as a parent, there's not a lot left for you.
So being able to stop and take time for joy is just really, really important.
If I don't take that time to take care of myself, I'm not going to be able to take care of my kids. Celebrate yourself. Like, every little thing that you do is worth celebrating.
We have the power to make our lives special. What do you want to do?
Your local professional, eco-friendly office space partner is WVII Business Solutions, your one-stop shop to get the job done. Handling all your office furniture and printing machine needs at an affordable price. Offering full system integration into your workplace and local service on everything we sell. We can even remote monitor your system with just-in-time inventory and service need assessments. Little to no downtime gives you peace of mind. At WVII Business Solutions, your solution is only an email or a phone call away.
I served as a Democrat in the Maine legislature, and I voted for Jared Golden, but I can't do it this year. Jared Golden changed in Washington, and he's given our vote in Congress to Biden and Harris. Now Mainers are getting hurt by inflation and higher taxes. I used to believe in Jared, but he sold us out.
Restoration PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith, and today is Monday, August 26th, 2024. And today is National Dog Day. So for all the dog moms and dads out there, before the day is done, make sure to find your favorite photo, or 4 or 5 or 6, and post of your pup and post them on social media. We here at the station would also love to see, so I think you should send us your dog photos at our Facebook page. You can just message us, that is Fox Bangor, or you can send them to our email, that's TV7 TV7news@WVII.com. That's for news tips, that's for everything, but today especially dog photos. TV7news@WVII.com. Okay, moving on now for some history. On this day in history in 1629, English Puritan stockholders of the Massachusetts Bay Colony pledged to emigrate to New England under the terms of the Cambridge Agreement. Hundreds of years later, in 1907, Harry Houdini escaped from chains underwater in 57 seconds at the aquatic park in San Francisco. For folks who were watching a few weeks ago, they may remember we had this escape artist who was at the Bangor Fair on our show, and he had handcuffs that were Harry Houdini's, who he escaped from, and I got to wear those. So that's going to be my story anytime Harry Houdini comes up now. Very cool. Okay, now in 1920, the 19th Amendment became part of the Constitution of the United States, giving women the right to vote. I believe the election that came right after that elected Woodrow Wilson. That was kind of a major election, and women were probably very influential in that election. In 1971, Bobby Orr signed a 5-year contract with the Boston Bruins worth $1 million, the first $1 million contract in NHL history. Orr is widely acknowledged to be one of the greatest hockey players of all time, and his jersey number 4 has been long retired by the Bruins. It's kind of a trip for the younger hockey fans out there because you look back on this time and that's when they didn't wear helmets. It's kind of crazy to look at that footage, in my opinion. In 1981, NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft took photos of Saturn's moon Titan. And this is such an eerie photo, in my opinion, but it's very beautiful at the same time. Okay, moving on now for some birthdays. Actor Chris Pine turns 44 years old today. Actress, singer Keke Palmer turns 31. And actor Macaulay Culkin turns 44. All actors today. Chris Pine's sporting a new beard. That's kind of new, I think, in the past couple of years. It looks good on him. Okay. Moving on now, it's kind of a dreary start to the week, possibly some scattered thunderstorms, maybe even some lightning. So let's turn it over to meteorologist Evan Biggs for that forecast.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Alrighty, here we go. This morning, some areas of dense fog greeting us near parts of Bar Harbor and parts of Washington County, and even areas further out towards the north as well. As we get things going today, we will also have to watch out for some showers and thunderstorms as the fog clears up. We're already seeing some showers and storms this morning. It's even caused some flooding issues right about in here. There's been some flood alerts issued at times this morning here. Those are expiring this morning as well, but we will be watching on and off for scattered showers and thunderstorms across our neck of the woods today. There's a little bit of energy. Here it is right about in here. Continues to track off towards the north and east, and it's very localized just across the state of Maine, and that's about it. So Futurecast showing more scattered showers and storms this morning and again this afternoon. We'll get those out of here later on tonight. We'll be under a partly cloudy sky with areas of dense fog on the way overnight. As for the winds for today, not too bad, roughly at around 5 miles per hour or so, maybe a few areas up to 10 miles per hour. The winds calm down tonight, and that will allow that fog to develop, and we're looking pretty good as we start things off Tuesday morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms today, highs in the mid-70s, and that southeast wind at around 5 miles per hour. Alrighty, your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, showing some showers and thunderstorms possible with temperatures in the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
All right, switching gears now to Market Watch. This is our Monday segment. It's been going a couple weeks now. Normally Craig's here to chit-chat with me about these finds, but I'm just going to chit-chat about some Facebook Marketplace finds. So let's pull the first one up. These are all new to me. I haven't seen any of these yet. Okay, so we have a vintage hand-carved cobra snake. This is something that involves a lot of artistic talents here. This is less of a weird one and more of a really cool one. Wow, this is, I wonder if it's locally carved, but very cool detail. $225, this is for sale in Randolph. Wow, Beautiful. Would make an excellent gift. Very unique. Okay, moving on now. Let's see the next one. A luxury picnic. Oh, I've seen these before. So somebody's offering a service, and it seems like for $239, you can have a fairy tale picnic, maybe at the location of your desire. But wow, what a great date idea. I love it. Very unique. Add that to the list of date ideas. Oh, okay. For $1,000, whoops, we skipped one. We're looking at Garfield now. Can we go back and look at the perfectly cut half goldfish? There we go. For $1,000, you can have a very satisfyingly cut, perfectly cut half goldfish. I wonder what tool they used to achieve this great feat. For $1,000, it can be yours. In Winterport, lovely. Okay, now we have the Garfield art coming up next, or was that an oopsie? That might be an oopsie. Okay, moving on now to the next one. Do we have one more? Do we have one more? Okay, that may be it. Yeah, $1,000 for your perfectly cut half goldfish. That's somebody's side hustle now, is cutting goldfish in half. All right, is that all we have for this morning? It appears so. Okay, if you want to check in next hour, we'll have another renewed hour of Good Morning Maine with more finds. But cool, we have a half-cut goldfish. We have a picnic. I think that picnic is a great date idea. I think somebody should look into that. Okay, right after the break, we'll have our sports updates. We have a new sports reporter. If you've been following over the weekend, Jack Webb. He's a recent UMaine grad, and he's replacing Ryan Sudol. So Jack Webb will have our sports updates right after the break.
Whoa, is this your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. Yesterday, I was at the Nissan end of summer sales event taking a test drive, and Laura says,
"These Rogues are going fast."
I knew I had to have that Rogue. Get a low $279 per month lease on Rogue.
Let your creativity run free at the Creative Arts Center, where we offer fun and affordable activities for all ages. Birthday parties, pottery wheel classes, painting lessons, or just for the fun of it. Get fired up for glazing projects as well as acrylics. We offer a wide selection of ceramic products for you to choose from, and we have thousands of pieces ready to paint. We are a Paragon kiln dealer and a Laguna Clay distributor. Stop by the Creative Arts Center today, located just off the Joshua Chamberlain Bridge in Brewer. The Creative Arts Center, where your only limitation is your imagination.
Come to the Bedworks in Brewer for our Labor Day mattress sale. Save on Simmons Beauty Sleep, Queen starting at $4.99. Save even more when you purchase your mattress with a snore-busting adjustable base. Save up to $500 on Sealy, $700 on Tempur-Pedic, up to $900 on Stearns & Foster, and save up to $1,200 on Beautyrest and Beautyrest Black. Save on Nectar and DreamCloud too. And remember, we have free delivery and financing available. The Bedworks, Twin City Plaza, Brewer. Sale ends September 16th.
Whoa, is this your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. Yesterday, I was at the Nissan end of summer sales event taking a test drive, and Laura says,
"These Rogues are going fast."
I knew I had to have that Rogue. Get a low $279 per month lease on Rogue.
Hammond Lumber has earned a level of trust with generations of contractors, do-it-yourselfers, and homeowners. Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Welcome back in, folks. We'll start with the hometown hero. On Friday, I got the chance to check in with Old Town's own Andre Miller.
Whenever my number's called, just kind of go out and do what I do.
Former Old Town and UMaine standout Andre Miller's professional football career has been an uphill battle. However, the climb is nothing new to the former All-CAA wideout, who began his collegiate career at Division III Husson before transferring to UMaine.
The last couple of years been kind of tough with dealing with different things going on and off the field, like just freak things happening.
Miller began his pro career on fire at training camp with the New York Giants before unfortunately fracturing his forearm later in the preseason. The G-men brought Miller back to the practice squad once healed, but a hamstring injury just before next season forced the two sides to part ways. When I asked what kept him going after all that, he had a few different answers.
I just love to compete, and that's really what the driving force is, along with I think I'm pretty good at football. So for me, it's just being like honestly kind of addicted to like it's just really all I know.
That addiction to the game brought Miller to the Great White North.
Up here playing in Canada for another opportunity.
Miller is now a wide receiver for the Ottawa Red Blacks of the Canadian Football League. With an already stacked red-black wideout room, He's waiting his turn on the practice squad, and he's using lessons learned in the NFL to stay ready.
I try to approach everything and take care of my body and do all the right things, take my notes, get extra catches after practice, do whatever I got to do, get with the quarterbacks and talk with them as if, like I said, like I am playing that week.
For now, Miller will keep climbing because he knows things can change in an instant.
I know I have a lot of football left, and it's just been a rough couple last 2 years, but I know it can turn around just as quick as it was going bad. So,
reporting from Bangor, I'm Jack Webb, ABC 7 Fox 22 Sports. Was great to catch up with Andre. So good to see him living out his dream playing professional football. And those who know him know everything's going to go according to his plan. Fall sports season is in full swing, and we'll head to Brewer to check in with a couple teams, beginning with field hockey. After a 10-4-1 record last season, the Witches will look to build on that momentum this fall. The program has been gradually improving over the years, and this year's senior class is at the forefront of that progression.
We've worked really hard on building that program and developing younger players, and we've got a lot of talent this year, and this year I would consider us a veteran squad, and so we're really excited for our schedule and to get going.
It's exciting, definitely sad, but it is exciting. I'm looking forward to the season.
The team made it to the quarterfinals of the state tournament last year. They've been working together all summer long to prepare for this season, and that work has them feeling confident about their games and goals ahead.
Honestly, we're shooting pretty high. I mean, we feel pretty good this season, especially from all the last seasons leading up. Our record's been getting better, so I think we're pretty ready.
Obviously, a state championship. We put in the work all summer, and we all have great skills, and we work really well together.
Allie Flagg dropping back-to-back gems 2 days in a row here at Fox 22. We head across Hedrick Field now, where the football team has been working hard as well. The Witches football team is looking to bounce back after last season, and that all begins with their new head coach, Fred Lauer. Lauer is an assistant principal at Brewer High School and said it took his players a second to adjust, but after the quick transition, it's been full steam ahead.
The first time in the summer when we got in the weight room, they were kind of feeling me out, didn't really know because they've only seen me as in that other role. But now they see this different side of me, so I think it's been really good.
I mean, I don't think we've skipped a beat. You know, he came in here, he took charge, and I think it's been great.
Coaches and players say they've had a great first week of preseason and have been developing the team's identity for the fall.
We've been moving along. We're real good here. We're getting all our stuff in, getting all the fundamentals down, getting all the new guys up to speed.
We'd be overly physical with other teams, and our goal is always to win games. I mean, football is a physical sport, so our team, we want to be a physical team and play some good football.
Now that is a football player right there. I will take 11 Calebs out there for my football squad any day of the week. That is unfortunately all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
This week is Fantasy Suite.
I am in love with you.
I'm not there yet.
Am I doing something wrong?
Can't do it anymore.
When outdoors, some people like it hot and some people like it cold. However, when indoors, most people like it comfortably warm. Choose a Boderas boiler from McCusick Petroleum Company to provide you with comfortable and efficient heat. They also offer sales and service on many brands of furnaces, boilers, and water heaters. McCusick Petroleum Company delivers oil and LP gas to homes and businesses throughout the Pequot region. If you'd like more information on pricing or service, call or stop by our office in Dover Foxcroft.
Motorcycle accidents can happen fast. The effect on your life can be devastating.
I wasn't going to take a chance on my future.
I needed a lawyer who fights for bikers' rights.
Motorcycle law is complicated, and you'll need somebody who knows motorcycle law. A name the insurance companies know all too well.
A lawyer with the power to get you more. They got me way more than I thought I'd get.
Call Joe. The law offices of Joe Bornstein. Right now.
Tell them you mean business.
Harris Lumber is locally owned and has been serving the Pequot region for more than 50 years. See them for all your projects, big or small. Customer service is their #1 priority. And with a full line of lumber and hardware items, they can also deliver to your job site. Harris Lumber, my love.
Well, don't forget to pack your lunch as it's the first day of school for many in Maine. York School District is among the schools that will welcome students this morning. The York superintendent says he's excited for the new year, but worries about transpiration issues. Allison Lapierre sat down with school leaders and has more.
I think opening week of school was a lot like the opening day at Fenway Park, and I think it's exciting. It's buzz in the air. I think kids are happy to get back. Teachers can't wait to get going. It's just a really good time of the year.
Tim Doak, the York superintendent, says he is happy about the amount of applicants the school received this summer and that they were able to fill the new teaching positions. Though, the need for bus drivers is still high.
Ledsmere does need help with that. The York families rely on that transportation. It's a great working relationship, but yet the lack of drivers has really made us think differently about how we're going to transport kids.
York's operation manager, Monique Tahirno, says the town needs at least 9 bus drivers, and right now, they only have 6.
We really need the help. If you have little ones that aren't yet in school, you can bring them with you to work. You can bring them with you to work. You don't have to pay for daycare.
The York School District and other Maine schools are paying for on-site bus driver training. This comes with incentives, too.
We are offering a $3,000 sign-on bonus for individuals that are not CDL, and then $5,000 for CDL drivers right out the gate.
And she says it's not just about the money, but the experience as well.
They come into work and they interact with the kids, and they love what they do. It is not just a paycheck to them because they don't need it. They do it because they want to do something and they enjoy kids.
I didn't realize it was the first day of school. Well, I hope anybody going back today has a great first day of school. Okay, now here's meteorologist Evan Biggs with our full forecast.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your full weather forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Visit SR1 in Herman, Turner, Manchester, and Orono for the best prices on trailers, campers, tractors, heavy equipment, and more. SR1 Companies, where New England's largest selection meets unbeatable prices. Alrighty, here we go. Areas of dense fog greeting us near parts of Bar Harbor, up across the northern parts of the state as well, and even across parts of Washington County. We'll get the fog out of here, but we will also still have to watch for showers and some thunderstorms possible. Right about in here, we've had some development this morning that's allowed some flood alerts to be issued at times as well. Right about in here, as some of these showers and storms are not moving very quickly. We'll be watching for scattered showers and storms on and off across the region today. Moving forward as we watch this little wave of energy, it's very little. Here it is right about in here that continues to track off slowly to the north and east. The rest of the northeast looking pretty good. We just have to get this thing out of here, and then we're looking pretty good. So here's futurecast for today. Scattered showers and some thunderstorms possible. More of it across the western parts of the state as we head towards the afternoon period, but can't totally rule stuff out farther out towards the east. Also, notice the clouds break up for a bit, so we'll call it a partly cloudy sky this afternoon. Also, we'll calm down tonight. Partly cloudy areas of dense fog possible, and it may be widespread as we head towards Tuesday morning, so be careful with that. We'll get that out of here. Tuesday looking like a very nice day. Tuesday night, we're good for a bit until late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Maybe some fog again, but notice some showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder on the way by early Wednesday morning. As for the rainfall for today, very localized. Some spots could see a lot of rainfall, but otherwise some spots could see a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit more or less before we're all finished up for today. And then we'll have to wait until Wednesday before more rain moves in. So overall this week, maybe up to 3/4 of an inch of rain between today and also Wednesday before we're all finished up, but very local with lower amounts possible in a few other spots. As for our temperatures, our average night temperature is 78 degrees. We'll do middle 70s today, then lower 80s for you Tuesday. We're back in the lower to middle 70s Wednesday, all the way through at least Sunday. So overall, not looking too bad in the temperature department moving forward. Scattered showers and thunderstorms on the way today with highs in the mid 70s and a southeast wind at around 5 miles per hour. Coming up for tonight, partly cloudy areas of dense fog. It could be thick at times with lows in the upper 50s and the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with highs in the low 80s and a southwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Alrighty, let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by SR1 Companies. Rain moves in Wednesday again with highs in the low 70s. Partly cloudy Thursday with highs in the mid 70s and middle 70s again for your Friday under a mostly sunny sky.
People ask me all the time, are those commercials really true? Does Lowry & Associates really get all of those clients, all of those big settlements? Yes, we do. We really have gotten millions of dollars for Mainers hurt by commercial vehicles. And the insurance companies know when you call the twos, we're going to fight for you. And you know what else is true? I really am standing on top of this big truck.
Hurt by a big truck? Call the twos. We win for you.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
We are explorers, hard workers, the jack of all trades. We are Mainers. Maine Quit Link provides free nicotine quit medication, including gum, patches, and lozenges. No insurance needed, no copay, and no cost to Mainers. Because quitting tobacco with a little extra help is more successful than quitting on your own. Quit like a Mainer. Enroll online at MaineQuitLink.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
When it comes to the whole home heat pump rebates from Efficiency Maine, there's money on the table for everyone, and the experts at Valley Home Services are here to help you get your share. Even if you received a rebate in the past, you can still take advantage of this program with a new Fujitsu heat pump for your whole house. And no matter your income, there's a rebate for you. Let the folks at Valley Home Services lay out a Fujitsu heat pump plan for you, so you can start saving on heating and cooling for your home. Don't leave money on the table. Call Valley Home Services today and get your rebate instantly.
It's almost the real thing on the shores of Lake Michigan. A giant dragon, 25 feet long and made from 20 tons of sand at Bradford Beach in Wisconsin. Ted Siebert built the creature and named it Wingding. The world-famous sand sculptor says this year he traded the traditional castle for a winged dragon. Wingding is a part of a new summertime art series called Art Blaze on the Beach. I love seeing those sand sculpture competitions. Very cool. Well, law enforcement apprehended some four-legged escape artists in Greenbush. While on a routine patrol, Penobscot County Sheriff's deputies came across a few goats that appeared to have escaped through a fence. But they weren't on the lam for long. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office says they were quickly captured and safely returned to their new owners, to their owners. In a Facebook post, the Sheriff's Office said, quote, "We're not sure if this makes them farmers, but they did a pretty good job." Well, a teen from Fayetteville, Fayetteville? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. North Carolina is among the youngest pilots in the U.S. Tyler Moore earned his private pilot license this week, just a few days after he celebrated his 17th birthday. The junior at Northwood Temple Academy, where he plays basketball, says this is the start of his aviation career. I wish him very safe travels. That is a huge accomplishment, not an easy one at all. All right, looks like we're winding down for this hour. We'll be back on Fox 22 for a renewed hour of Good Morning Maine. Good Morning America is next on ABC7. If you missed anything, you can head to foxbangor.com for a recap. I hope you have a lovely Monday.
Transform your home with Ashley Furniture's factory authorized sale at the Furniture Gallery. A queen mattress and frame, a 6-piece dining set, a sofa chaise, a reclining sofa, a set of 2 recliners, or a complete bedroom set for just $595. 6 amazing options for under $600. The Furniture Gallery's factory authorized sale ends soon, so don't miss out on these incredible deals. Hurry in to the Furniture Gallery, shop online, and visit our Facebook page for more savings. The Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
Acadia Gem EV Rentals, the clean, all-electric, and fun way to see Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park. GEM vehicles are 100% electric, low-speed vehicles that are street legal on any paved road with a posted speed limit of 35 miles an hour or less. You will enjoy all the beauty of the island without leaving a carbon footprint. GEM rentals are available in 2, 4, and 6 passenger vehicles. Visit acadiagem.com or call 207-288-8983.
Maine's largest network of parts just got a little bigger. Coastal Auto Parts, newest location in Bangor, has all your automotive needs to get you to the moments that matter most. Whether you're a professional mechanic or just need a little help, find everything you need all under one roof. Our knowledgeable staff is here to assist you with friendly service and expert advice right here at 200 Sylvan Road, just off I-95. Drive in, stock up, and hit the road with confidence. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Mossy Ledge Spirits is a true hidden gem in Etna, located just 3 miles off I-95, exit 167, where you're home to tastings, tours, cocktails, to-go drinks, bottles, live music, and priceless memories. So enjoy some pizza and raise the glass here at Mossy Ledge Spirits.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
From the Great Northwoods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, a serious crash in Corinth took the life of one after a farm truck ran off the road. Plus, COVID and other respiratory diseases are on the rise in Maine. We'll hear from experts at the CDC on how you can keep you and your family safe. And good news for local fire departments. A new batch of firefighters straight from the academy are moving into jobs around the state. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith and thank you for tuning in this morning. My colleague Craig Colson is taking a vacation day, but this Monday morning looks a little bit dreary, a little cloudy, possibly some rain on the way, maybe even some thunderstorms. So let's get a look at that forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy